What is up, y'all? It's your boy Winston Wolf. I'm back. I just want to do a quick video. Yes, the air conditioning is on. No, I'm not shutting it off. So let's talk about a steaming pile of garbage I just got done watching. It is called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think it's the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's something about the Ten Rings, but doesn't really matter. Who cares? This movie sucks. I'm going to get into it. And also, I'm not going to call him Shang-Chi. I'm going to call him Shang-Chi, because ever since I was little, that's how everybody always pronounced it. I never in my life heard anybody call him Shang-Chi. So I'm just keep saying it the way it's been. Nobody's corrected us up until then, but all of a sudden with the promotion for this movie, now we got to pronounce it this way, and everybody sounds mad, awkward, and douchey trying to pronounce it the new way. It's just like Pirates of the Caribbean. Before that movie came out, everybody called it the Caribbean, but then all of a sudden, once a movie comes out, everybody has to start changing the pronunciation of Caribbean, and I'm not going to do it. It's stupid, it's lame, it's things that tryhards do. So let's just start with the first fight scene. It's between Shang-Chi's mom and dad. It shows how they met, and it is terrible. It is subpar. They obviously took cues and inspiration from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but the charm and the quality that those fights had, this does not. You could tell they tried to do wire work just like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but when you add that much CGI over something, it just, what's the point? What's the point? It just ruins, all the practical effects that you've done. So, and that's the problem from this point on, is they add a lot of fights, but all these fights, it's things you've seen before. It's moves, different beats within the fight that you've seen before. There's just a ton of action, and, I commend them for saying, okay, let's not have a boring movie. Let's have a formula where we have, a little bit of talky, fighty, a little bit of talky, fighty, a little bit of talky. That's fine. I'm, you got to give them credit for that they didn't want to have, a boring movie that went too long without any action. But if the action is all cookie cutter and you're already a fan of martial arts movies and stuff like that, and action movies, you've seen all these things before in every single fight. It's like they went and they got everybody that was working on the fight scenes. They said, all right, go get your 5 favorite, martial arts flicks, or, movies that have a lot of fighting in it, and let's take, let's handpick a bunch of different parts from each fight, and let's Frankenstein all these fights together. That's what it felt like. And I'm sure they didn't do that, but they're so lame that that's how it turned out. So after that fight, you see Shang-Chi. He's an adult. He's hanging out with, and I don't even want to say the name, but I'm going to say it, Awkwafina. Why? Who decided? Why? What? And we're stuck with this garbage sidekick, this hack. We're stuck with her through the whole movie. And I'm going to spoil the end. Wong shows up in the end in one of his portals and tells Shang-Chi that he needs him and Awkwafina to go with him. So not only are we stuck with her, this talentless piece of garbage, through the whole movie, but now she's going to be in other movies. So we're always going to be stuck with this just subpar, no talent idiot. And that whole valet scene, it's him and her, they're a valet at some restaurant. It's straight up feels like it's taken out of a Fast and the Furious movie. From the camera movements, from the lame jokes, and again, just like the subpar fighting scenes that just plague this movie, whoever wrote this, the Fast and the Furious jokes and everything, it's just, that is non-stop through this whole movie. It is... The barrage never lets up of mediocrity. It's just sad. Okay, so then right after that, there's a dinner scene with Shang-Chi, Awkwafina. I can't believe somebody named themselves that. And they're 2 lame friends, and they're out at dinner or whatever. And again, the dialogue is, man, this isn't even CW worthy. This is straight up, you could sit on your lunch break and probably knock out a quarter of this script. That's how nothing it is. I mean, did they get 16, 17-year-old TikTokers to write this? Seriously, I'm like at a loss for words at how sorry and pitiful this movie is. So then after that, they get into a fight scene on a bus in San Francisco, which you've probably seen. I remember that from the first trailer. And so they do the thing with the shirt, where when someone has a knife or whatever, and somebody takes their shirt or their jacket off and they wrap it around their hands, and then they do that. That's done in this. And once I saw that, I immediately, and this was maybe 15 minutes into the movie, I immediately said there is nothing they can have in this movie from this point on that's going to salvage just the garbage for the first 15 minutes. And I'm talking about not just regular garbage. You know, it's not candy wrapper garbage. It's not, you know, I'm talking about used diapers. I'm talking about used Q-tip type of garbage. I'm talking about the water that's at the bottom of a dumpster type of garbage. This, again, nothing new, nothing that you haven't seen before. You see people fighting. Normally, when you see any two people fighting, you get some kind of interest in it. You're at least gonna look. There's gonna be that. I've never seen a movie that has so much fighting and so many action scenes that are this boring that you don't care anything about it. That's actually quite amazing that they managed to pull that off. So the lead actor, he doesn't emote. There's a scene where he talks about somebody dying, his sister or somebody. I can't remember. I don't know if he thinks she's dead or I can't remember because I kind of zoned out on a lot of this because it's so terrible. Like all I was thinking was like, how did they manage to get that this terrible? But he's sitting there talking about her, and the expression from before he starts talking about her dying to when he's actually talking about her dying and saying, yeah, it's sad or whatever, his face doesn't move. It looks like he has way too much Botox or something, and it's just, he just doesn't emote. And I don't know why they picked this guy. He is terrible. So many other people they could have picked. I'm watching the scenes. Nothing moves on. He blinks his eyes. His lips move. But that's it. That's it. This dude can't emote. I don't know. So then we get to the only interesting thing about the whole movie. It's Wong fighting Abomination in some kind of fight club. And again, it seems like we've seen the club that they have them fighting in. It's almost like they took other movies and just straight up said, okay, how do we want the club to look? I want it to look exactly like this. I want it to look just the way everything looks, the way it is. You get deja vu. You've seen all this before. On top of the lackluster dialogue, so. Anyways, they have Abomination and Wong fighting. They don't explain why. They're just fighting in like a cage type thing. Then all of a sudden, Wong wins, and then he opens up a portal and he takes Abomination with him. They don't explain how Abomination got out of the raft or whatever prison he was in. They don't explain why Wong and him are friends. They just throw you one thing that you're interested in and then just take it away immediately with no explanation, nothing to chew on, nothing. So Shang-Chi fights, I guess, his sister that he thought was dead or something like that, and she straight up looks like a man with a wig. Every time they showed her on camera, I said, she has a strong, manly face. She doesn't look feminine. She doesn't look hot. She's so manly looking that it was just a straight up distraction whenever she was on there. Because again, it's just like everything in this. All I was doing was questioning why they cast these people, why they made the movie this way, So then they have a scene where they're fighting in a building that's going under construction, or it's still under construction or whatever. And the scene is straight up taken, not exactly, but you could tell they made this scene after watching, I think it was Spectre, the James Bond movie Spectre. Because the scene with the billboard in the background while they're fighting all that, it's taken right from Spectre. It's just, you don't even have to be a movie head to spot all the things that they stole, all the things that they used as inspiration. And I only did a half air quote, so bear with me here, okay? So so then you find out that all these people that they've been sending, because since the beginning of the movie, they've been sending people out to kidnap Shang-Chi, or I guess he had some pendant that they stole or whatever. But so finally it's revealed that it's his dad. His dad has sent these people. And then he just goes with him. So why not from the beginning be like, hey, your dad sent us, there's some stuff going on. At least lie if he didn't want to go with him, at least lie and say it was something that he cared about to get him to go or something. But they take this super long roundabout way of all these worthless fights just to find out that these guys were sent by his dad to get him to come back home. There could have been so many better ways to do that. It's just... So then he gets in a fight with his mom. Once he goes back home, some other stuff happens. He ends up meeting his mom. I can't remember if he thought she was dead or whatever. It doesn't matter. This movie sucks. But he ends up fighting his mom, and then you realize, oh, every time he's gotten in a fight with any woman in here or any kind of back and forth, you know, verbally, physically, he loses it. So you already know that this is another part of Marvel's agenda that they want to get across, that men are weak and women are the, are the superior race. And I don't mind it when it's organic. I don't mind it. I love Ripley from Aliens. Everybody loves Princess Leia. Those things weren't crammed down our throats. They picked the right actor. They had good writing. They had good directing. It made sense. We got behind it. And that's not pause-worthy because those are women, so I'm happy to get behind them. So, but this... No, it's just too blatant. And then from that point on, it's just a bunch of... It goes into super CGI fest. There's dragons all of a sudden that get involved. In the whole main end fight, there's 2 giant dragons involved. Because I think at some point they realized we've already bored everybody for the first 2 hours of this movie. So there's no way we can have a giant finale. Especially when the lead can't even move his face. Can't even, it's... Bro, what is what is Marvel doing? What is it? Did they get somebody from like DC that ended up sneaking in there and getting a high-ranking job and is just tanking the whole organization on some like super mastermind plan or something? I don't... So, Shang-Chi. On a scale from 0 to 10 dog bones, I give it minus 300,000 dog bones. This movie is trash. I'll never watch it again. I regret that I watched it one time. Especially on my day off. My one day off. I wasted 2 hours and something watching this just godforsaken